to Accelerated Analytics video tutorial on store analysis. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us today to learn about how you can increase the effectiveness of your store analysis by using store grades. Before I dive right into the topic today, I want to give you just a little bit of background on why I think store grades are really important and effective for you as an analyst to use in your store analysis. If I told you right now that your temperature, that your body temperature, was 100 degrees, because you have some context knowing that your regular body temperature should be 98.6 degrees, that 100 degree temperature, you would know that you have a fever and you're probably sick, and so you might take some action based on the context of that reading of your temperature. If I told you, on the other hand, that the planet of the sun, the surface of the sun, the temperature was currently 1 million degrees centigrade, you probably lack some context to be able to kind of use that information effectively. Your first impression might be, wow, that's really hot. But in fact, that might be an ordinary temperature reading for the planet of the sun, or it could even be cool. It's very difficult to know for somebody who's not sort of a scientific genius, because we don't really have the context in which to evaluate that temperature reading. And a lot of times when sales analysts are conducting a store by store performance analysis using something like dollar sales or unit sales, you fall into a very similar situation. Without some type of sort of contextual information, it's difficult to know if one store is performing well as compared to its peers. You may be able to see that sales are up in units or dollars from some prior period of time, or they may be down, so you can have some trend information. But what you don't know is in, say, a geographic region where there's maybe 25 stores, how does store 1 compare to store 2? And that's where I really am a big fan of store grades, and that's why I wanted to talk to you for a moment about that and why I think that it's a very effective part to add into your store analysis. The first reason why is because of, as I've been describing, the context. So if you have 2 stores and you've gone through a grade process, one of them maybe is a grade A store and the second one is a grade D store, then you as the user, or maybe as the business consumer of the analysis, you may not even need to know what the total dollar or unit sales for those stores are. What you do know is that one store apparently is performing well and the other store is not performing well. And so that acts as sort of a KPI, a key performance indicator, to identify a store that you need to dig into if it's not doing well, or maybe a store that is doing well, you want to dig into to identify what's contributing to its superior performance. The other reason why store grades are very effective is because it allows you to track changes over time. So you can look at a sales trend, like most of us all do today, dollar sales over, say, rolling 4-week periods of time, compared to either a prior year comp or maybe an additional 4-week rolling period. And that trend certainly provides you with very valuable information. But when you add into that the store grade, and so you can see perhaps that a store has changed from a C store last quarter to maybe a B store this current quarter, now you have not only trend information, that store is improving its performance, but you also have some relative context. You know that in addition to the trend being positive, that store is also improving its performance compared to its peers. And so now you have a more complete picture of what's going on. Another reason store grades are powerful is because it allows you to bring in sort of secondary data, like demographics, for example, and then use store grades as a way to focus your time and effort as an analyst. We all have many things going on in a day, and so whenever we can take sort of the funnel approach and narrow down the tasks and the data to a smaller, more meaningful set for us to study, that's a very powerful thing. And so if you were trying to identify key demographic characteristics, for example, that may impact your product sales, either positive or negative, you may choose to take a group of, say, 200 A stores and look at the demographic profiles for those 200 stores. You could then compare the demographic profile for a similar set of 200 D stores and look for variances in the demographic profiles. Hopefully, by looking at that subset of 400 total stores, you've saved yourself a lot of effort as opposed to, say, for Home Depot, for example, looking at nearly 3,000 United States stores. Focus your effort, look at 400 stores that have two different profiles, A stores and D stores. Look at their demographics and identify areas where you can focus and maybe go down into even more detail. And then perhaps even bring in the B and the C stores to sort of test out your theories and see if they're significant variables or if they're having a minor effect. The same sort of analysis pattern or technique is also very effective for weather analysis. If your product is impacted by, say, precipitation or humidity, you can use those weather variables, again, in conjunction with the store demographic variables, and that can be very powerful, and again, helping you sort of narrow down a large group of stores down to a subset which have known performance characteristics, A stores versus, say, D stores, and then apply the weather variables to those, study the differences, look for patterns. I haven't gone into a lot of detail on how to actually do the store grading assignment. The reason for that is because we have some free resources that are available on our website, one of which is a store analysis. It'll walk you through how to choose the right metric, whether it be dollar or units, based on your situation. It'll then instruct you on how to go through the store grading process, as well as how to update that on a quarterly basis or in whatever period of updates makes sense for your business. So I would definitely encourage you to jump over to our website when you're finished watching this video. Go to our white paper section. The store analysis is a free resource. You can download it, and then that will help walk you through sort of the details behind what I've been discussing today in this tutorial. Also would encourage you to send us your feedback and questions as you go through the store grade process. We'll be shooting a lot of tutorials as the year progresses and incorporating some of the feedback and questions that we get from users like yourself into future videos. So that'll make it a little bit more interactive. I wish you the best with your point of sale analytics. Again, if you have questions, please send them in, and please tune back to our website for additional tutorials that will be coming very soon. Thank you for watching.